Hi, my name is David Fleming from Disciples Ignited, and we have started a new series on our YouTube channel. It's called Living the Book of Acts. And we're going to be studying the book of Acts and seeing how Jesus wants to do in our lives today the very same thing we're reading about in the book of Acts. It's going to be very exciting. And I tell you what, if you are interested in a move of the Spirit, you'll also be interested in looking at my book. You'll find it on Amazon. It's called Revival, God's Explosive Intervention. Throughout church history, Jesus has poured out his Spirit in mighty ways, and it has literally transformed not only people's lives, but whole nations. And as you read about this, it's going to encourage you, and I believe it's going to motivate you to begin to pray for Jesus to do it again. So look it up on Amazon, Revival, God's Explosive Intervention. Now let's get into our lesson today. We're going to be reading in Acts chapter 1, where Jesus is spending 40 days teaching his disciples after his resurrection. Now the disciples gather around Jesus, and in verse 6 of the first chapter we find, "Then they gathered around him and asked him, 'Lord, are you at this time going to restore the kingdom to Israel?'" Now, what kingdom are they talking about? Well, they're talking about the kingdom of God. The disciples of Jesus were fully expecting him to raise Israel up now as a world power, overthrow the Roman Empire, and Israel is going to be returned to its glory days as what they experienced during the reign of David and King Solomon. But what this shows us is that the mindset of the disciples is that Jesus is building an earthly kingdom. Now, I want to remind you of what Jesus said to Pilate when Pilate is discussing with him about how he's going to judge Jesus. And then Jesus calls himself a king. He says, "Oh, so you are a king." And then Jesus said to Pilate, "My kingdom is not of this world." And so he makes it really clear to Pilate that he is not building an earthly kingdom. Now, yes, he is building a kingdom, but his kingdom is spiritual right now. He is building the kingdom of God in the hearts of man. So often we have our mindset on building an earthly kingdom. Oh, yes, we want to build our local churches. We want to build the kingdom of God, but I'm telling you, building large churches may or may not be the same as building God's kingdom. Jesus is all about gathering disciples and setting up his kingdom in their hearts. And that starts when you give your life to Jesus and you put your faith in Jesus, and you begin to follow him and trust him and let Jesus live in you and through you. That, my friend, is a kingdom that Jesus is building now. His kingdom is not earthly. His kingdom is in the hearts of men. And that's why Jesus is all about sending his disciples out to make disciples. That is building God's kingdom. Think about that. And join with me tomorrow as we study some more in the book of Acts. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.